Oh hey viewers, so the 2021 exhibition season manufacturer round 5, that's a mouthful, was an interesting race but a very long one, and there was quite a bit that happened, so I decided I might as well make a commentated video because also I want to procrastinate on doing homework and all that. So as you can see here, we got quite a few people that we know in the lobby, so just gotta say hi to them. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and skip to qualifying now because, I mean, nothing exciting happening during warm-up. And so, to be honest, qualifying also was kind of boring. Nothing of note happened, but I did just want to show you this because you always know when a qualifying is a slipstream qualifying when you come across a long conga line of cars who all want to slipstream and no one wants to go first. So, you know, we all saw that on Monza, what was it, 2019? Or F1? Yeah, 2019 in F1, where almost everyone missed the line. But, yeah, so we're doing that right now. So anyways, as we're queuing up, wow, that was a British word, I'm American, what am I doing? But as we're lining up and getting ready for our flying lap, I'll just talk a little bit about how I felt about this race. I honestly did not feel that strong about this race. I could not wrangle the Viper around on the racing soft tires around Fuji. I don't entirely know why. It might have been the braking of the car, because the rear end tends to slide out on the braking and understeers a little. So yeah, so my racing medium tires, someone goes off into the runoff over there, but the racing medium tires and my racing soft tire times were maybe on average about half a second difference, so it wasn't that good. And as you see here, I completely bottle turn 3, and I have to go ahead and give up on that lap because, yeah, I've messed it up and now I don't have a qualifying time, or a qualifying lap that's good, and a slipstream buddy. So we skip ahead. I didn't get slipstream at all, and because of how the timing worked, I ended up having to go 2 laps on one stint without slipstream, and as you see there, Bam Bloodstain kind of followed me on my final lap, and I qualified 13th without slipstream. So I mean, I honestly have no idea if that's good or bad. But yeah, I didn't really practice too much because of how long the race was. But anyways, like I was saying, I couldn't get the soft tires to work around here. So I know people were thinking of doing like a 3-stop aggressive strategy for three stints of softs and then mediums, but I just stuck with 2 soft stints and 1 medium stint because, again, I wasn't really getting the most out of those racing soft tires. So we go ahead and skip to the race here, and the one thing that I'm glad the Viper has, though, that I was able to take advantage of is that straight line speed. So as you can see here, we are in that magical suck zone in the overpowered slipstream of this game. The 911 handling car back there is left in the dust, and I break up my normal braking point, thinking that's early enough, but it wasn't because, you know, people were braking early, so I had to take evasive action there. I go wide, go on the AstroTurf, and just, you know, completely grew into grip, and you can't drive at all. Luckily, I only lost 1 place, and the Hyundai behind me ended up messing up even more. So we're down to 14th, so we lost 1 place on that turn 1. Could be worse, but we continue on. So, and you can see here I'm going a little wide, a little understeering. I'm just forgetting that these medium tires are cold right now, and I'm on a full load of fuel. So I am at the literal worst handling I could be at. Well, I mean, it could be worse if the tires were really dead, but you know what I mean. I wasn't in the optimum handling situation here. So as we head into the chicane, you can see there, it's kind of getting a little processional. I mean, to be honest, Fuji is kind of, it's not the easiest to pass on, like Sector 2. The best overtaking opportunity is obviously Turn 1 because of that long straight. That'd be very hard to race on. But as you can see here, because everyone is kind of getting bunched up, everyone is just, well, everyone's bunching up, you know, compartment for redundancy department there. And I'm able to catch back up to the back of the 911, and they go a little wide through the final corner, and that means they get to say goodbye to me because they can't keep up with my top speed because 911's a handling car. And as you can see there, I am closing fast on the Corvette ahead. So this Viper, even though I'm doing a little fuel saving, I'm still able to, you know, just charge up the field with the slipstream. So I managed to brake nice and perfect. Well, I go a little wide. The Corvette tries to get the cut back, but I'm able to stick it around the outside I look in the replay because I saw they kind of swerved off, and I was wondering if we made contact, but we didn't. They just overcorrected a little bit for me. So we continue on, 12th place. We're heading back into 100R, and we made up a spot. And again, because I wasn't feeling too hot about this race, I just decided I'm going to see how the race goes. So I'm going to try to hunt down 11th. I wasn't entirely sure how well that would work, just because we're heading towards the handling part of the circuit. As you can see there, 911 behind me is now right on my tail. So I take my normal racing line, I go semi-defensive into the chicane because I didn't think they were close enough to go for a move. And you can see there, they pull right on up behind me because they're trying to get a cutback as the action unfolds in front of us. And Bam Bloodstain and Mad Knight Nopar get into an incident. And I back off for that, and then the 911 just decides to go ahead and drive on the inside, even though I was on the inside already, and I just had to back off there to avoid getting a penalty and crashing. So, that was quite a sequence of events. You can see there, Bam Bloodstain's pulling up behind me and all that, and Mad Knight's about to take his penalty. But anyways, let's go back and see what happened there. So, Mad Knight breaks a little too late and goes into the back of Bam Bloodstain, who comes off but then comes back on, and they don't give each other any space at all. Bam like pushes Mad Knight off, and Mad Knight doesn't even actually go for the ram there. It was just a circumstance that caused Bam to go off the track, and then ATK turned in a little too early, and Mad Knight and ATK collide. So from Bam's point of view, he's already being, lunged, and then he gets punted by Mad Knight, and you can see there, he's not really giving Mad Knight any room at all, and that just causes some chaos as we go by there in the frame, and that Porsche behind me just doesn't have much awareness, I don't think, because you can see they turned way too early and hit Bam. That sent them onto my inside, as we'll see here. So you can see they turned in way too early, just like Bam wasn't there, and then rather than backing out here like you would do sensibly, they decided just to send it up there, and I don't feel like getting a penalty here, and I don't want to crash, so I go ahead and let them go. I'm pretty sure, they're patting themselves on the back. I think they made a sensational move, when in reality it was kind of just a really clumsy move. But anyways, continue on. And as anyone who races in North America at this level knows, our friend Mad Knight has a bit of a temper, and from our last race, we'll see Bam Bloodstain is the same. So that honestly went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. So as you can see here, our friend in the Porsche causes another incident, and we'll go ahead and analyze what that is, since Coca-Cola corner is not really a corner to make past unless you're side by side. So you can see they pull alongside, and they don't give ATK any room at all. They kind of just keep going straight when ATK turns in. ATK was turning in already kind of late, so as you see from ATK's point of view, he gives at least a car width on the inside, but Scrank decides they want more space, so they go back, and Bam Bloodstain is now right on my tail, and I'm a little concerned about that just because I know they're a little short-tempered, and I didn't really feel like dying, and also they were faster than me, so that meant I was hoping we would fight too much and lose time. So as you can see there, they're pointed up next to me. I stay on the inside since I'm ahead. I go defensive into the chicane, but they outbrake themselves completely, and I keep 10th place, and I pull right up to the back of ATK. Skrak is behind me, and I'm hoping I don't get lunged again in some kamikaze move, but we're through turn 13 fine. They're looming though, so I go semi-defensive. I go a little narrow, and they try to go inside, and they bump me, of course, and now they're on the outside though, and all I need to do is just get a good exit onto the straightaway, and I know I'm fine because the micro straight low power. I give them some room, they go a little wide, and it's sayonara to Skrak, and they actually get a penalty too. I'm not entirely sure why they had a penalty, but they move aside because I think they thought they were going to serve that lap, and I thought so too, but they come back to my slip feed and realize not. So I go ahead and move semi-defensive. You can see there he's pulling up, and I go ahead and break my braking point, and the Corvette actually of DSLC Chase Clan actually comes for a pretty good move onto turn 1 on the Porsche, and was up on my outside, but I got the speed grip, and managed to keep 10th position. So at this point, things are settling down. You can see that the pack ahead's all gone, and I'm at the front of this pack if you look on the main map there. And it turns out it's because 8th place and above, they're all racing softs, and everyone here was a mix of mediums and softs. So you can see their ATK makes a mistake, so it helps me gain a little time on them. But yeah, so the race is settling down a little bit. First through 8th are long gone. We're just in our little train here, and I'm just focusing on trying to catch up to 9th place, since I can see that I am gaining on them. I go a little late into the chicane, and DSLC Chase Flames right behind me, but Scrack is also behind them, so I'm hoping they'll start fighting a little bit, so that way I can go ahead and get a clear run on ATK, and hopefully start building a gap. Now, all I know is I need to try to get a good exit. Hopefully the straight line speed of the Viper will allow me to pull up on the back of them and get to slipstream. And as you can see there, I do get a better exit, followed by the acceleration of the Viper. That gap is coming down really fast. It was almost about a second when we finished the final corner. Now as we're crossing the start-finish line, I'm actually in slipstream range now, within 3/4 of a second. And so I'm closing pretty quickly, but of course I can't come for a move all the way from back here. It's too far. And I say that, you'll see later on someone else doesn't think that though, but ATK goes a bit wide, and that allows me to pull right up next to them and get a better exit. And I decided to go ahead and use some more fuel and rev the car out completely, because I wanted as much speed as possible to try to pass them to Coca-Cola. As you can see there, I get the pass done very clean. I stay on the inside, they stay on the outside. Job done. That's what should have happened. Sometimes situational awareness isn't the best, but anyways, we continue on. ATK is still on the rear, so I go semi-defensive into the hairpin, and they're on my inside, I'm on the outside. We both get a pretty good run outside for where we were, but again, I got the inside from these two, I guess they're called 300R, and we're just turning 300R, and go semi-defensive again into the chicane, but they don't really have an answer for that. They can pull up as they take their racing line, but all I need to do now is just defend, or at least take this section 3 well, so that way they can't pull up too close. You can see there, they go a little too hot into turn 13. And all I need to do there is start building a gap, and I'll be home free, because again, the Viper just has such a straight line advantage in line 11 here. And so we go in, they pull up right behind us though, but I'm able to accelerate out better. And it's pedal to the metal. I don't even need to rev the car out too much. And you can see there, even with slipstream, ATK's, well, I guess the reason why is because Diggy Pow behind there was also fighting, and ATK actually goes for an early pit stop. I say early because, as you can see there, just briefly, they were on the mediums, and it was only lap 6, so... Anyway, we skip ahead now towards the end of lap 6, and as you can see, Diggy Pow has caught right up to the back of us, and that's because they're actually on racing soft tires. So... I just knew they were faster than me at this point, and I just wanted to see if I could keep them back as long as possible, because at this point, I knew that pit stops were about to happen, so I wanted to see if I could slow them down as much as possible to help preserve my position in my pit. So I'm going to pit at the end of lap 9 as Equus Ferrum comes out in front of us, and this was perfect because I was hoping that I could use Equus as a slipstream buddy, or have them tow me along the track. They're a lot faster than me, and I was hoping for that, but as you can see there, I'm already out of slipstream range in turn 1, so that didn't really materialize, and Diggy Pow is really putting the pressure on. You can see there, they're within 4/10 of a second, and you can see there how they have an advantage in grip, because they're closing pretty quickly through 100R into the hairpin. They go on the inside, I stay on the outside, I see that move. We give each other enough space. They go on the far inside. I think they overcompensate a little bit. I had enough space on the outside, but I appreciate that. I stay on the outside, which turns into the inside for 300R, and we're both heading into the chicane. I stay in the middle for a defensive line. They're on the racing line. They try to go for a cutback. I go a little wide, but they respect the fact that I was in front of them. They didn't go right into the back of me. So again, very good racing. Always glad to see that. And from here, it's hard to pass as long as you take the racing line fine. So I just focus on hitting my braking points. We go into the very tricky Nets corner, turn 15. They're on the inside. I give them room, but they aren't able to go ahead and capitalize on that. I decided I'll just go ahead and take the regular racing line. They're on my inside. I give them room. They give me room. I pinch them a little narrow, and they aren't able to get the run on me. So I was wondering how much longer I was going to have to defend, but as you can see there, they actually start going to the pit lane for their stop, and as you can see, a lot of people on the racing stops ahead are going to the pits for their stops. So racing stops around here were good for about 7 to 9 laps, depending on how well you were on tires. I wasn't too good on tires, so yeah, I always went for 7 laps. As you can see there, there's a group ahead, but nothing happens because they're all faster than me on racing softs. So we skip ahead to lap 8. You can see their Snellgrove has pulled up right behind us. They're in a Viper as well, so I have no advantage in the straight line, and they're on racing softs. They also qualified ahead of me, so I figure they're faster. And now it's just a drag race down the straight, the front straight. And you can see there, I don't know if they're revving the car out more or what, because neither of us had slipstream. I think our exits were pretty similar, but they probably just had the edge. So I wasn't going to defend too hard. I just braked on my regular braking point. They braked theirs. I thought I got a little messed up because they turned in a little later than I expected, so that put me off, and that meant that now I was a little far behind. So I was just hoping to use them as slipstream partner, but I can see there nothing much happened. So we skip ahead to lap 9 and we go into the pits. I knew that if you hit the wall here you wouldn't get a penalty, but I still just didn't want to bother, so I did sacrifice a little time to actually take that properly. So we're on our first soft stop now, and because, like I said earlier, softs are good for about 7 to 9 laps. I'm aiming for 7 laps on the soft, so I had to refuel no matter what. And I decided to go ahead and put 8 laps of fuel in just in case, and I did because I didn't think I would come out in a bad spot refueling otherwise. As you see there, we come back out in 13th behind the group that was behind us, so not bad, I don't think. And we started making short work of the people in front of us anyway. So you can see there, start of the next lap, DSLC Chase Clan, pull up again, turn 1, really good pass opportunity. Straight up the inside, they tried to hang it around for a cutback, but I just blocked the racing line there, nothing we could do about it, and we accelerated away, and that is 12th place. And then skip ahead again to the next lap, and Diggy Pow's up in 10th ahead of us. So you can see there the slipstream in the Viper is just so good on this back straight section. Again, brake just in time, brake a little late, come out a little wide, but block the apex so they can't get cut back on us, and job done. That is 10th position. So we're going to skip ahead to lap 15 now, and you can see there that DSLC Freer 503 is right behind us, and we're being hunted down, we're being hounded by them right now. So I wasn't going to defend, but they decided to go for a move up into turn 13, which is fair enough. It turns out they were on crushed sauce and they didn't want to waste it. I wasn't going to defend anyways. I didn't want to lose time because I knew that they were faster than me. But anyways, they saw the gap. I gave them space, we gave each other space, good racecraft. I decided, because they're faster, I just wanted to use them as a tow buddy. So you can see here on the straight line, I early short shift, and I'm just trying to stay fueled. I think they thought I was in full attack mode. I really didn't want to attack at all, but you can see the slipstream and the Viper is just so powerful. I'm pulling up right alongside them even though I didn't want to. So I want to fake them out, but they go for a last minute defense. I'm on the outside, that's fine. They're going to get more grip than me, so it's not even really get the cutback. So again, heading into Coca-Cola, I'm just short shifting very early. I'm just trying to save a little fuel while I can, let them tow me along. And I keep forgetting that I should brake a little earlier for Coca-Cola in the draft. So again, I screw it up and I lose my slipstream there. So somehow though I keep getting purple sectors on sector 1. I don't know why. Yeah, but anyways, we skip ahead now to lap 16 for my final soft stint, and you can see there that PSRT OTJ came in right behind us, and they were actually hounding us down for the past couple of laps. So I wanted to take in the minimum amount of fuel. I overfueled just a little bit to have a little extra. I saw that PSRT OTJ behind us needed more fuel, but turns out they need to refuel a little less. 911's a little better on fuel. And this is going to be interesting because I was much better on the first half of the soft stints. My tires, or I don't know, I was just better overall on that. But once the tire wear started happening, they started catching up. So I knew that I needed to build the gap so that way they wouldn't be able to catch up towards the end. But as you see there, 9th and 8th, Snellgrove and ATK, they're finding it out. And ATK misses the braking point, goes wide, so I'm thinking perfect. Good opportunity to pass, clean pass, don't lose much time to PSRT who's catching up, but they pull over to the side. I don't really know why. They didn't cause an incident at the hairpin, so anyways, it's a free place for me though, I'm not going to complain. Up 9th. And Snellgrove was going pretty slow, so I figured they must have been on a medium stint. The tires were going off just because they were, you know, you saw how much faster they were than me earlier in the video. So I want to try to pass them as soon as possible because PSRT, as you can see there, that gap, I got it up to about 1.7 seconds or so, but now it's coming down pretty rapidly, especially through Sector 3 where the 911 excels. So we go ahead and start onto the front straight, and I'm in the slipstream range, so at this point I'm going to try to build a gap because you can see there I'm leaving the 911 in the dust, but I got that better straight line. Snellgrove decides to go over. I don't really know why I waited to go over, but they're weaving all over the place. They know exactly what the game is. I checked my fuel there real quick. I just go over to the inside just to, you know, kind of see when they're going off. I wasn't going to go for a move. Also, I just kind of do that as a habit so I don't ram someone in front of me. I'm still building up my racecraft for brakes, and I just know that I need to get up close to Snellgrove. And again, I get a purple sector through Sector 1. I don't know why, but yeah. And I actually take control properly with the draft. As you see there, the gap to PSRT has gone back up thanks to a little straight line stint. And I go into the back of Snellgrove, and I'm hoping that none of us get a penalty. Luckily, I just get an SR down. No penalties. Snellgrove didn't get affected. I got slowed down a bit, but I braked to my regular point, and they braked a little earlier, and that caused that little effect. So, pretty hard defending, but it's the end of the race. That's understandable. We both get through. PSRT goes a little late into the chicane. They can't really do much about it, though, because I'm on the inside for the next turn of the chicane. Is chicane 1 or 2 corners? But anyways, you can see PSRT, they have the clear advantage the second turn right now. Like, they're just all over my back. So, I'm just trying to keep my racing lines up. See if I can go for a move into turn 1 like I always have been doing, but it's going to be a little difficult because it's a Viper, so I'll try to get a good exit. Also, I want to see if I can pull away from OTJ, PSRT, and Snellgrove immediately knows what's going on. They're weaving everywhere. I'm catching up to the back of them, and I decide, alright, let's go, let's do this, and we're neck and neck. You can see there the PSRT is getting some slipstream. You'll see here what I meant by that dive bomb comment to turn 1 because Snellgrove and I break out of braking points. We're good. And then you can see on the radar, I just saw this in time that PSRT just goes for a completely savage lunge up the inside. I delay my turnings. I didn't want to be collected at all. And let's go back and see how much of a lunge that was because that was pretty late and they just fully sent it. I mean, well, mad respect for that. Also, it's kind of like, I don't know, you decide what you think of this move, but they're enjoying the slipstream from us, and they brake pretty late. They go straight up the inside, and they collide into Snellgrove. So I mean, I can see why, you know, you could say that's a good move, you can say it's a clean move, fair move. I can see why, you know, you can say that's kind of bullcrap, but it's whatever. I mean, I wasn't expecting it too much. I didn't know how much I could hold them off anyway. So I'm just trying to see if I pull past Snellgrove as they go wide through 100R. And so that compromises them. So I want to try to get my hairpin. They stay on the inside. I try to get the cutback on them. I just misjudge it and go into their side. Luckily they don't spin, but I let up the accelerator. I'm not going to pass it that way. Getting our SR down. No penalty though, and pretty clean. I didn't take SR downs because I had a clean race up to that point, but they go very defensive into the chicane. Nothing I can do there. Very good defensive driving for Snellgrove. And through Sector 3, this is going to be interesting, is now I'm on worn softs. Snellgrove's on worn mediums. It's kind of a battle of who has the least worst grip. And I go wide because Snellgrove throws me off there. What they did was they let off and they went super defensive into turn 15. But because they blew out the gas instead of braking, I didn't see the brake lights, and I was focused on my exit, my apex out. And luckily I didn't collect them at all, so we come over the line 10th place. 3 positions gained. I'm not going to be too upset about that, because again, I wasn't feeling too strong about this combo at all, but could have been 8th, circumstances were different, but can't really complain too much about how that race went. So, see there, we crossed the line 25 seconds behind JDWT Texas, who's super fast in that Ford GTLM. They're pretty good, and I actually get a little achievement up there. But yeah, so honestly, it was a pretty fun race at for the times where it was exciting, but you know, otherwise that's the reason why I cut this video and decided to make a commentated video, because there was pretty long periods where it was just hot lapping essentially. So yeah, you guys are spoiled because I made a second commentated video for a second race I did within, what, 1 or 2 weeks. I'd love to spoil you more like this, but job hunting and school and all that is pretty much consuming most of my life. I'm kind of just procrastinating right now and taking a break. So yeah, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more like this. I mean, or not. I mean, do you? I can't tell you what to do. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, bye, viewers.